Okay, pal, you want smash mouth power and efficiency? Then here's your starting lineup. Ford F-Series, #1 for 37 years straight. Talk about a dynasty, baby. Hey, it's game time, sports fans, at the Bill Ford Tough Sales event.
And good afternoon, everyone, for I should say actually good morning, since we have an 11 a.m. start here at the lobby of Burner Motors on the corner of the South Loop and Lillian Street in Stephenville. Make sure you stop by. Plenty of free food courtesy of the pizza place. We have refreshments. And later in the half hour at about 12:20, we're going to have our grand prize roll-off. We have 3 contestants that will roll off for a travel package to this week's Lone Star Conference Tournament in Allen, Texas. We're also going to give away 4 session tickets later in the tournament to fans here in our live audience. The Coach Lonn Reisman radio show is sponsored by the Bruner Auto family, so we thank them for their support each week in making the show possible. Coach, on Sunday night, you clinched an outright conference championship. You pick up a school record 26 regular season wins. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Casey. It's very proud of our players and proud of our coaches, and it's very rewarding to take that 2-month grind in this Lone Star Conference. You know how hard it is to win on the road and home and away and home and away, and it's just it's a very rewarding feeling to have some of the adversity we've had this year and watch our kids continue to listen and focus and practice and try to get better, and really it's beyond words when you can go through what we've went through and win a Lone Star Conference championship and not even share it, but win it outright. Yeah,
and I was going to ask you about that. You shared it 2 out of the last 3 years, and any time you can get a championship,
sure,
it's important. But does it mean a little bit more to win it outright?
Well, I think it always does. I mean, when you are the champion and you're not a co-champion, then it makes it that much sweeter that you don't share it. And we had an opportunity to do that this year, and our kids just really went out and took an advantage of that. We had a great crowd there on Sunday night. I mean, just a tremendous crowd there on Sunday night, and especially when you had bad weather all week and you had to reschedule a game, people couldn't get here. But I put a lot of credit to the crowd and the support that we had in the facility that night in Wisdom Gym. It was a great atmosphere for college basketball and a great night to win a championship.
We'll talk a little bit about that game in a minute. Just real quickly, we were supposed to have a coaches show on Friday. It was canceled because of the weather.
Yes.
You're supposed to play that game Saturday night. It gets pushed back to Sunday.
Right.
We didn't get a chance to talk briefly about that game at McMurray last Wednesday. You win that one 88-58, the first time you played it Kimbrell Arena since 1993. Your thoughts on that win?
Well, I always have a real eerie feeling when I go to Kimbrell Arena. I mean, I have a lot of respect for McMurray. I can remember years ago, 20 years ago, or whatever it is, I went in there with a 17-game winning streak and got beaten. So I have a lot of respect for the McMurray program and McMurray University, and I knew we had to play well. We had to take the game very, very seriously. They're very well coached. Cliff does a great job of coaching that team, and that was senior night for them. They're going to be at their best. They want to win their last home game, and just a lot of things were going into that particular game that had me very concerned, and like I told our staff, when we're not concerned, something's wrong, and so we need to be concerned on anyone we play, and our kids went in there and they really played well and handled their business, and we got out with a win.
It was an 88-58 win for Tarleton State, the 26th consecutive non-conference win for the Tarleton Texans, moving them to 25-2 on the year. Then the game that's played Sunday night that was supposed to be played on Saturday against Texas A&M Commerce, did that disrupt was that an effect, or did it disrupt your rhythm at all playing Sunday?
Well, I kind of lost track of what day was last week anyways, with all the ice and no school.
It's kind of weird.
Your practice times are trying to be adjusted, and then there's no school again, and then there's school till 10 o'clock, and then you get sent home. I mean, it was just a really weird week, and so I was kind of confused when it was Saturday or Sunday night, and I think today is actually Tuesday. So, it's just been a wind whirl. I mean, we've just been going so fast and furious. So I think I think it probably threw us off a little bit, but I'll tell you what, I really give credit to the Stephenville community and Tarleton State University, because it did throw them off, because the arena was actually just absolutely packed on Sunday night, and it was just so good to see that type of support.
2,867 fans watched Tarleton's 68-48 win over Commerce, and Coach Walker's team came in as the second hottest team in the conference. 5 straight wins, Coach. You hold them to 48 points. They average 81 points per game. Maybe one of the more impressive defensive performances of the year.
I thought our kids really played, really were in focus on what we want to do defensively, and we wanted to force our will on them instead of vice versa. And early in the game, we kind of felt like we were playing into their game in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and I think it took us some time to settle in. Senior night, families are there. You're wanting to do so well, and I think after the first 3 to 4 or 5 minutes, we had that media time. I think we finally really settled into what we wanted to do, and when we did, and our kids kind of took control of the game defensively. They're very good. They are a very good basketball team. They're very well coached. And it always seems like we pick on somebody that's always playing well. I wish we could get somebody that wasn't playing well sometimes. Just like we're going into Eastern New Mexico. I know their record looks that, but if you look at their last 3 games, they're playing well.
Very well.
So, you know, it's just the way it is. And like I tell us, you know, if you can't beat the team when they're playing their best, then you don't deserve to win the game.
On March 31st, 2014, Tarleton went to the field house. You lost that game in the regular season finale. Lonn Carnegie had 34 points. Fast forward to, sorry, that was March 1st, 14. Fast forward to March 1st, 2015.
Yep.
Lonn Carnegie coach fouls out with about 10 minutes left in the game. He's scoreless. Nosa Evanwani really did a great job on him.
Well, you know, Nosa was the defensive player of the week again in the Lone Star Conference this week, which is very well deserved. He's, you know, I think he's really working hard to become a defensive clamp down type of guy for us. And who would ever think that you'd have to put that type of pressure on a freshman? But he's got tremendous work ethic. He's got tremendous endurance. He's learning to get stronger and more physical. And, you know, he takes it upon himself to really understand what we need him to do defensively. And he's starting to believe himself as a defensive player. That's half the battle right there. You know, you don't have to be a great, you know, defense is all what's inside of you. There's no doubt about that. It's the character of the person, it's the toughness of the person, and it's the belief that you can shut anybody down. And Nosa has those characteristics. Makes me feel good for the future of knowing what he can do for us in the future.
Nosa again named the Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Week for the 2nd time in the past 3 weeks as he shuts down Lonn Carnegie. Coach, got to talk a little bit about Darrell Williams. He had 5 points in the first half.
Yes.
In the second half, he has 14 points, his 19th double-double, 19 points and 11 boards. What a neat story that's been for the Lone Star Conference.
Yeah, he's a premier player in this league. I mean, he started at Oklahoma State, and you know, he's one of the premier players in the Big 12, is my understanding. And he is, you know, he's just he's a monster inside. There's no doubt about it. And we really had to have our game plan ready and set to how we were going to take care of that. And did a great job in the first half. And you know, he's a hard player to just continually. You're going to stop every time. He went to the backboards and got some offensive rebounds. And you know, he's a tremendous player in this league. I think he's the best player in this league. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Casey, he might have been the best player that we've seen in this league in a long time. And he's got NBA potential. There's no doubt about that, and I think he's going to get some opportunities. And so, you know, when you go against the talent that Commerce has, they're very talented. You know, they have a lot of talent on that team, and they're big and they're strong. And so, you know, our game plan had to be executed for us to win. And
you did that, winning by 20, Coach, and it's so much on the line in this game, so much pressure for your team coming into this one. What was the feeling like after the game as you were cutting down the net?
Well, you know, I think it's just a relief. You know, I mean, we've worked so hard to get to where we were this year, and like I said, and they wanted to win this game at home and in front of the crowd, and let the crowd be a part of our basketball family, and people stayed and watched. And you know, I think there's a lot of people in Stephenville and at Tarleton that feel like they have an ownership in our basketball program, which is what you want. You want people to feel like they're a part of it, and I want people to feel like they're a part of our basketball team, and because you know, they are, and they help us. They help us when we come to play at home to push us to victory, and they have that feeling. You know, you look at Kentucky and you look at the blue at Kentucky at those games. Those people have an ownership in that Kentucky program. And what we've tried to establish at Tarleton is we want the same thing. We want to look up there and see purple in that stands, and we want people to have an ownership in our program.
Well, you led the Lone Star Conference in attendance this year. I believe Midwestern had that title last year. You finished 12th in the nation this year. Tarleton State #1 in the conference. A huge crowd in this game, coaches. You win 68-48. This team gets a school record 26 regular season victories. Was this team underestimated before the year, or have they overachieved? Or a little bit of both?
You know, I think, you know, I don't know if you ever, you know, you kind of look at your schedule, and I look at the schedule and I say, wow, when are we going to win our next game? That's how tough the schedule looks, and I mean it. I mean, we had one of the top 20 schedules in the nation. And, you know, I don't know if it's, you know, I don't ever think about if a team is overachieving or a team is underachieving. I just try to look at a team and see, you know, where we are and where we can get better, and how we can make ourselves better. You know, and we've had a loss here, a loss there, and we use that loss to make our team better and make some adjustments, and even all the way back to the TCU exhibition game, which is a 69-61 game at that moment, when we really weren't playing well in the first half, and we showed some character in the second half to pull it within 2. I go all the way back to there, that we're always looking for things, how good the potential of this team can be. And I think as a coach and as a coaching staff, you're always trying to make that potential come out in true form in February. And you're trying to bring your team along a little bit at a time, and can you bring them at the point where you're really playing well in February and into the tournament, and hopefully we've done that with this team this year.
Mo Lee scored 67 points in the past 3 games, coaches in the top 3 in the conference. in conference games and scoring. Considering he plays on a 26-win team, could he be the best guard in the conference this year?
Well, I think he's playing. I think right now he's playing as one of the top guards in the conference this year. If he's not playing at the top of the level, I mean, there's some very, very good guards in this conference. I don't think there's anyone playing any better than Mo Lee is right now, and he's playing with a lot of confidence, and he's communicating, and yeah, we put the ball in his hands at times that that he has to take a shot, or shot clock's running down. He wants the ball in his hands, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
Tarleton wins this one 68-48, the 11th win over Commerce in the past 12 meetings in this series. Back in 1 minute as Coach and I break down the Lone Star Conference tournament bracket and talk about the first round matchup with Eastern New Mexico when Tarleton Texan basketball continues right after this. That was the call on Sunday night at Wisdom Gym as Tarleton State won their 4th Lone Star Conference championship in school history. Time now to look at that bracket in the Lone Star Conference tournament that begins on Wednesday from the Allen Event Center in Allen, Texas. 4 first-round games on Wednesday and Thursday. The first game in this tournament is at noon on Wednesday, at 2:30 on Wednesday, and that features the number 7 seed coach, Texas A&M Kingsville, 8-18 overall, against the number 2 seed, Angelo State, 24-4. And definitely not a game to sleep on. Kingsville's been playing well as of late.
Yeah, I mean, they've just played on Saturday night, and I think the game was really close until the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Both teams are, very well coached, and Johnny's done a great job, and Chris has done a great job. It should be a great game. I mean, it's on a neutral floor. A lot of things happen on neutral floors, and that's what I warn our kids about. That's why they call this thing March Madness. They don't call it March Madness for nothing. I still remember Kansas playing Bucknell just a few years ago, and after that game, on the Bucknell campus, when they beat Kansas, they said, we were at the dance. We played at the dance, and yes, you sure did. And
don't sleep on anybody.
Don't sleep on anybody. You play in March Madness.
Second first-round game is Wednesday night at 8:30 between your Tarleton Texans, the number 1 seed, the number 8 seed, Eastern New Mexico. We'll talk about that game shortly. The third game in the first round is Thursday at 2:30 on the top part of the bracket between number 6 seed Cameron at 12-14 overall and number 3 seed Midwestern State, the Mustangs, 21-7. Coach, this will be back-to-back games that they played. They played on Sunday.
Yeah,
I think actually
they did play on Sunday.
Very tough to play a team back-to-back.
They're going to play back-to-back, and they're going to get to play them again. And I'll tell you, it's another tough game. I mean, Midwestern's playing pretty well right now. I think they're playing well, and Cameron was really down in that game and came back. I think they ended up losing by 6 or 7 or 8.
I think at the half it was like 47-19, and they lost by 6.
And they came back and storming back, and so again, that gave Cameron some confidence coming into the tournament. And again, it's on a neutral floor, and Cameron has got some big wins this year. They beat Angelo State. They've got some quality wins. If you look, they played Drury right down to the end. Cameron's a dangerous team.
The final game in the first round has to be the best game in the opening round. 8:30 p.m. on Thursday night. Number 5 seed West Texas A&M at 17-11 overall, and number 4 seed Texas A&M Commerce at 21-7. Commerce swept the season series, but it's going to be very hard to beat West Texas 3 times in a row.
2 good teams, 2 kind of different teams. One runs a motion, and one is kind of a fast-paced team, wants to get up and down the floor, and one has size, one does not have size, and so it's going to be a chess match between the 2 coaches. The
second round games are on Friday at 2:30 and 8:30. If Tarleton State wins in the first round, they'll play at 8:30 on Friday. Then the championship game on the men's side at 5:30 on Saturday from the Allen Event Center. Coach, let's take a quick look at the regional rankings this past week. They'll come out tomorrow for this week. These are the rankings as of February 25th. For the second consecutive week, Tarleton State, number 1 in the region. When I go through the records, we're talking Division II records. They don't count NAIA or Division III games. Tarleton State now with a 22-2 Division II record. Metro State, Coach, got some big wins this past week over Colorado State Pueblo. They won by 1 over the number 5 team in the region, Colorado Springs. They're now 23-4, so they're putting a little bit of heat on you.
No, we know Metro is very good, and there's a lot of good teams in this region. You said it all year, Casey, on all your, when we've talked privately, and you've even said in your broadcast, look how many of those teams were ranked in the top 25 in the nation at one time. This region is just stacked.
There was 6 at one time. This week, there's 5 teams ranked in the top 25. Colorado Mines, one of those teams, 11th in the nation. They are 3rd in the region. They beat Colorado Christian. Mines at 3rd in the region. Angelo State, number 15 in the nation. They're at 4th in the region. They beat Kingsville on Saturday, so they finished 21-4 at Division II record. Colorado Springs, number 5 in the region at 20-5. And boy, they win on Friday at Regis, and that's a heartbreaking loss for them. 1 point. That must have been a great game at Metro State.
Must have been a great game, and yeah, again, it's that time of the year when you just cannot take anything for granted.
Number 6 in the region, Midwestern State. The Mustangs now 18-7 Division II record. Texas A&M Commerce, number 7 in the region. Colorado State Pueblo lost to Metro Friday night. They beat Regis on Saturday. They're number 8 in the region. Fort Lewis lost on Friday. They're number 9 in the region. They won on Saturday against Colorado Mesa, who probably is going to have to win the RMAC at the number 10 seed, Coach, because they lose both of their games, and you don't ever want to be the 10 seed and lose your last 2 games.
No, because you also have the Heartland that's not involved in this top 10 right now, and you've got some good teams in there like St. Mary's. We know how good St. Mary's is. They finished the year 18-9. They won the Heartland outright. They're hosting the tournament this Friday and Saturday. You've got UTPB in there. You've got you've just got some. St. Edwards has been in the top 10 in this region. You've got some very good teams in there. They're going to bump somebody in that 8th spot, and then you never know what's going to happen. The 7th and 8th spot are very dangerous spots to be in.
That's a look at the regional rankings from last week. Again, those will be released late tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully Tarleton State for the 3rd consecutive week will be number 1 in the region. Time now to preview the first round game for Tarleton State in the opening round of the Lone Star Conference Tournament, an 8:30 tip-off on Wednesday night against the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico. Stott Walker's team, Coach, 7-20 overall, despite being 0-14 in the conference. Let's look at their last 3 games. They lose to Commerce by 6, Tarleton by 10, West Texas by 10. Earlier in the year, they were getting blown out. That ought to tell you something.
And 2 of those 3 were on the road too, at Tarleton and at West Texas. And then they played Commerce right down to the end at home, and they have their team back. They were decimated with some injuries earlier in the conference season. Domingo, one of their best players, was not playing, and so Clarity was not playing. They had some people out, and now they're back, and it's no doubt that they're getting back into the mix of what Coach wants to do out there. I have a lot of respect for how, they came and played us very, very, very tough a couple of weeks ago, and believe me, we're taking it very seriously, and we're preparing very hard because this team's very explosive. They can score points. They showed at West Texas the other night. What'd you say? They scored 86 points at West Texas. They scored 80 on Commerce, and so they have a lot of potential to score. They have good guards that can really penetrate the basketball. They have bigs that, they can play out on the floor. Domingo can play out on the floor and handle the ball, and he can, he puts you in some bad situations because he has that ability to do that. And they, so they can shoot the 3 ball. They have some. They can really, they can force you into, and they don't turn the ball over a lot. If you look at the year, and I've said this last time, they have 374 turnovers compared to 376 for their opponents. So they're averaging about 12 or 13 turnovers a game. They don't turn the ball over a lot, and they don't give you an opportunity to take those turnovers and put them into transition points, so we. They're a very, very tough team, and you better not take them for granted.
They have John Gillum, the 3rd leading scorer in the conference. He's averaging 16 points now. 10 days ago, in that 10-point win, you hold him to 7 points at Wisdom Gym. Will Gillum get a dose of no 7 tomorrow night?
He's going to get a dose of somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. But he's definitely one of the best guards. We talk about guards. There's a guy that's that's scoring a lot of points in this conference, and we definitely have to take him and do a great job on him. And they got 3 guys that are averaging double figures, over the year. But you have some guys there that haven't been there, like Domingo's. He's capable of a double figure night, and so there's other people that are capable of that. And so you just have to really focus on your assignment.
In the first meeting in Port Talos, you out-rebound the Greyhounds by 19, in the second meeting by 9.
Yeah.
Is that an area where you have to dominate tomorrow night?
No doubt. You have to when you get in conference, when you get in tournament play, Casey. There's things that you have to do. You have to take care of the ball. You cannot have big turnovers. You have to get, you want shots every time down the floor. You got to play great defense and control the backboard so you don't give them second opportunities. And you got to play a very solid game in tournament play to win tournament games.
How dangerous is it from your experience in 27 years to be the 1 seed, play an 8 seed, play a team that has nothing to lose, and you have a lot to use?
Well, I think that's what March Madness is all about. That's what we've looked at around this country for years. I mean, it's no different than what will happen at the Division I level here in another week and a half, and what's going to happen at our level. That's why it's crazy. It's March Madness, and you don't want to be the person that's on that upset side of being win or loss. We just don't want to be on that side of it. And I think a lot of it has to do with you got to go out there and you've got to it's a new season. The season's over. You're the regular now. This is a new season for everybody. Everybody starts their slate 0-0 tomorrow night, and that's why you have to take it one game. You're looking at that one game, focusing on one game. You're giving me the schedule for the whole bracket, but I'll tell you, I haven't even looked at the bracket compared to what we have to do tomorrow night at 8:30.
It's the Texans and the Greyhounds in the opening round of the 2015 Lone Star Conference Tournament, 8:30 tomorrow night from the Allen Event Center. When we return in 1 minute, it's time for our grand prize roll-off, as we'll give away one travel package to a lucky fan to that tournament when Tarleton Texan basketball continues right after this. Sometimes I just wish I had the energy of Rush Reisman.
Me too.
On a Tuesday running around here at Burner Motors. All right, it's the time we've all been waiting for, the grand prize roll-off. 3 contestants roll the dice all year long here at the show, roll the grand prize, and they're going to compete against each other this afternoon, or this morning. I keep thinking it's afternoon, it's before noon. The travel package that they could win includes 2 all-tournament passes valued at $45 apiece. You get 2 Tarleton t-shirts to wear to the game, a gas voucher, a free car wash, and dinner for 2 in Allen. Those are all courtesy of the Bruner Auto family. Pretty neat little travel package there. Right. We had 3 people roll, and the 3 contestants today are, it's Bob Beckett, his wife Marie. Wave your hand. Hey, Marie. Marie's going to roll for Bob today. We've got C.D. Jones. He's kind of a regular at the dice table. I mean, at the coach's show, of course. And then we've got Jarrett Vincic. Jarrett, raise your hand. Jarrett's going to roll for Charles Velasquez, part of the Plowboys. How about that Plowboy, Hayden Frederick, to hit that $3,300 shot? Did you see that? Granny shot it. Did you see the Granny shot?
I just heard it in my office. I knew somebody hit it because we were in there looking at a scout report, and all of a sudden I just heard a roar, and I knew it was halftime, so I said, somebody just made $3,300.
Now, you're kind of the master at the Granny shot, aren't you?
Well, I don't know about that.
All right. Marie, CD, and Jarrett are going to roll the dice. We'll have Marie first. How this works is whoever rolls the highest amount is going to win. So if Marie rolls a 6 and CD rolls a 1, Marie wins. Now, if 2 of our contestants tie, then we'll re-roll again. So Terry Hardcastle's kind of in charge of the dice, coach. 1 roll.
Got to roll it. Can't skid it.
No skidding. So here we go, Marie.
Rolls
first. There we go.
There it is.
Oh, 3. Well, hey, you know, you're hanging around.
You never know.
C.D. Jones, grab that dice. So we've got a 3 for Marie.
Look at CD. He's studying.
CD, give him a hand. Here we go. Who's going to win that travel pack?
All right, CD. What'd you get?
6! Oh, my God. And he looks at us with that stare. Like a assassin that just did a 3-pointer from the left wing. All right. Charles Velasquez, you're going to have to roll 6, Charles.
Roll 6, Charles. What do you got?
All right. Congratulations to C.D. Jones, my friend. Marie and Charles are going to get a T-shirt as part of our 2nd and 3rd place. So Marie and Charles, thank you. You get a T-shirt. C.D. Jones gets a gas voucher, a car wash, dinner for 2, courtesy of BrunerAuto.com. Thanks to everyone. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we will wrap the show up when Tarleton Texan basketball continues right after this. Well, we were supposed to have a show on Friday. It gets canceled. This show now on Tuesday. They're usually on Fridays. We move it to Tuesday because of the travel schedule. Then we move it from noon to 11 a.m. We didn't expect much of a crowd, but we sure appreciate everyone coming out.
Yeah, I really appreciate the crowds we've had out here this year. And we've had great crowds out here, great support, and I'm so thankful for our fans and the support we get, and thankful for Bruners, you know, Greg and Dwayne and what they do for our programs and everything that they put into Tarleton State University and how much they do for our athletic department. And you know, it's just been a great relationship with Greg and Dwayne over all my years. I've been here, 28 years, and it's been a big part of our family. To say thanks to our live audience today, we're going to give away 2 sets of 2 tickets apiece to the Lone Star Conference Tournament. They're 1-session tickets, so this will get you in 1 session. So if you come to the Wednesday night game, you're going to get in free. If you go to the Texans game on Thursday night, this ticket will get you in. So we will start our drawing, and I will draw. And our first winner is Jarrett Vincic. So, Jarrett, congratulations. Jarrett, you got there. All right.
You didn't win the roll-off, but you
got tickets.
Congratulations.
All right.
Oh, he won yesterday, too. Jarrett won at the Coach Wilson show.
Take some people
our final winner, Carol Shores. Carol, come on up. Carol, congratulations, Carol. So Carol and Jarrett get 2-session tickets apiece for the Lone Star Conference Tournament. We'll see you there. Make sure you vote for senior forward Davinae Carter in the 2015 Dark Horse Dunker Contest. And Coach, if you decided to run for Congress, you're pretty aggressive. You've been telling everybody to vote.
I want to vote for Devin Carter. Deserves it. I mean, he's in the Final 4 now. He's one round away from playing dunking for the Dunker championship.
Get in the State Farm
Get
Slam
in the
Dunk
State
Contest.
Farm and go into Indianapolis, and
Tarleton would be on ESPN.
be on ESPN. So if you haven't voted for Dark Horse Dunker, there's only about, well, exactly about 24 hours left.
And
so
it's 50-50 tied.
50-50 with Liberty University right now, and Liberty University's somewhat a little bigger than Tarleton, but I know that we have a lot of Tarleton fans that will get out there and vote. They have 24 hours to do it. You can vote on Twitter, Facebook, and your email, and then you can vote tomorrow after, again, all three ways.
Is Lonn Reisman telling us how to use Twitter and Facebook?
Let's get out there and
the world
vote
is coming to
Devin Carter.
DarkHorseDunker.com. Go to DarkHorseDunker.com. You can vote 3 times a day. Get your cousins, get your brothers, get your sisters, aunts, and uncles.
We've got people all over. Mark Smith out in California, if you remember, he played for me. Jim Marino in El Paso are getting everybody's voting for him.
Tarleton Texans finished the regular season 17-9 overall, 9-7 in the conference. Saying they blew out Texas A&M Commerce on Sunday would be an understatement. 97-53. You don't see that a lot in conference games.
Well, what you like is that they're playing well right now, and I'm really, really pleased with what Misty's done with this program this year. And she's picked up where Coach Hearn had a very successful career, and she's picked right up where he left off, especially when you've lost the Conference Player of the Year and you're having to make some adjustments. So I look forward to seeing them play on Thursday. I think they're going to do real well in this conference tournament, and you know, they're still up for the regional berth too. So congratulations to the Texans. We're proud of them.
Number 4 seed, they will open up in the first round, folks, on Thursday at 6 o'clock against number 5 seed Texas Women's, the National Farm Life pregame show at 5:45 on the Tarleton Sports Network. Next week's basketball coaches shows, folks, will be on Monday and Tuesday again. It'll be Monday at noon from the lobby of First Financial Bank, Coach Wilson. Coach Reisman's show Tuesday at noon right here from Bruner Motors. So remember, next week, the Coach Wilson show on Monday, Coach Reisman's show on Tuesday. The weather wreaked havoc last week on Tarleton Athletics. Coach Mata's team still 9-9 on the year.
Yep.
They're going to go to Denton and open up at Texas Women's, a doubleheader on Friday at 5, Saturday at 1. And no one played this past weekend except Lance Drake.
Yes, Lance, and he got snowed in out there out west. So
they only played one match,
and he had to wait 2 days to get home.
Texan baseball team 6-4 overall. They open up Lone Star Conference action at San Angelo this weekend. 4 games against Angelo State. 3 o'clock first pitch on Saturday. Texan tennis 3-3 overall. Coach Reisman just talked about it. They went all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico this past weekend. They were supposed to play 3 matches. They only played 1, but they got a win over Colorado State Mesa 5-2. Speaking of weather, the Tarleton track and field indoor teams were supposed to go to Lubbock last weekend. They didn't make it, Coach. Just a safety decision. They had to come back.
No doubt. I mean, bus just
didn't even make it to Dublin.
They made it to Dublin, and they just needed to come home, Casey. I mean, you just can't put the student athletes, safety. Just safety is our #1 priority, and it just was not safe enough to go.
The Tarleton State Invitational meet scheduled for this Thursday, March 5th, will begin 2 hours earlier at the Oscar Fraser Track at Memorial Stadium. The opening meet of the 2015 outdoor season and first of 2 home meets this season will start with the field events getting underway on Thursday at 11 a.m., the running events at 2 o'clock. For complete results and updates, visit tarletonsports.com. The next broadcast of Texan basketball, Wednesday night at 8:30 against the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico. If you can't make it to Allen, we'll have the National Farm Life pregame show at 8:15 with the Coach Chris Reisman pregame interview, starting lineups and keys to the game. You can listen to the broadcast on the flagship station of the Tarleton Sports Network, 90.5 FM KTRL in Stephenville, Granbury, and Fort Worth, or around the world at tarletonsports.com/listen live. If you don't have your tickets to Allen, you're going to have to go to Ticketmaster.com or pick them up at the Allen Event Center box office. Remember that Tarleton State is hosting a reception for all fans, supporters, and alumni in Allen on this Friday, March 6th from 5 to 7 at the Courtyard by Marriott Rowlett Ballroom. That is right next to the Allen Event Center. It's free. There's going to be free food. It's open to the public. No need to RSVP. Hope to see everyone at that reception on Friday. Want to thank the pizza place in Stephenville for providing the food. Thanks to our producer, Aaron Young. Great job, Aaron, back at the studio. Our on-site engineer to my left, the one, the only, Mr. Jody Lee Cottle from KWBY. Thanks to the Bruner Auto family for sponsoring the show. Last but not least, thanks to each and every one of you for listening and for your support of Tarleton State University Athletics. Coach, time for our final question. You've done a lot of conference tournaments in your days. What's the key going in mindset-wise? You don't want to show all your cards, but you obviously want to win. You know you're in the NCAA tournament. How do you approach it?
I think one thing we want to do, Casey, is just approach it like we do any other game. I don't think you want to make any more out of it than you do a regular season game. You have to go in there with the same type of, you take your system in there, you execute your system, and keep your kids not too up, not too, you don't want them, you just want them to go in there and play like they played all year and be consistent, and that's what we're trying to do, is just play consistent.
Coach, thanks for your time as always. Best of luck picking up your third straight conference tournament championship this week.
Thanks.
That's going to do it for this 9th edition of the Coach Lonn Reisman Radio Show. For the 27th year head coach of the Texans, I'm Casey Hogan saying so long, everyone, from Bruner Motors in Stephenville. Until next time, have a great week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night from Allen, Texas.